Dallas Green, aka City in Colour for Tone Deaf. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So you're here in Australia right now promoting your new record, and you've been doing 2 intimate shows. So the Toff in Melbourne is tonight, and you played the Standard in Sydney a couple of days ago. How was that one?
It was great. It was really nice, nice room to play in, and I don't get to do that often anymore. Like play smaller, really little shows, or even just by myself. I usually have a band with me, so it's always a treat. It kind of reminds me of where I began, and it allows me to still feel comfortable with, say people stop listening one day, and I have to go back to. I think I'd be okay with it.
You know you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apart from these shows, you've just announced that you'll be coming back in November for a really major tour where you're playing huge venues.
Yes.
So you're keen to get back to the bigger venues as well?
Well, I mean, it will be fun. I'm excited to come back and do, the full band thing and bring my whole band and introduce the new band to all the City in Colour fans here. So, yeah, I'm very excited.
So you are touring your new album, The Hurry and the Harm. This album seems, obviously it's really personal, and you talk about a lot of stuff that happened with Alexis on Fire and a lot of the songs. But I read that you've actually been sitting on a lot of the songs for quite a few years.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them that I mean, that's usually how I am anyways. There's always ideas that are holdovers because I just wasn't able to either finish them because I wasn't in the right headspace, or I just didn't know where to take the song. So like a song like Harder Than Stone has been around for years because when I first started writing it, I had written some of the lyrics for it, and then took those lyrics and put them in the song, Alexis on Fire song, Born and Raised. And then every time I would try to rewrite that song, Harder Than Stone, I just couldn't find somewhere else that felt comfortable because I had already had these words ingrained in the flow of the song.
Yeah.
So then finally last summer I just said, well, I'm just going to rip myself off and keep them there. But things like that, Two Coins has been around for a long time, and just trying to find the right direction, find out where it should be, where it should go.
So I also read that you don't really treat songwriting as a job.
No, I mean, as much as it is my job,
yeah,
like it is my career, but when I write, I don't write, I guess with City in Colour, I don't write records specifically. I have never sat down and said, now I have to make a new album.
Right.
Like if you had asked me back when I was touring Little Hell over here, if you had said, are you close to a new record? I would have said no, because I had no idea that I would finish up that touring cycle and have all these new songs that I really loved and wanted to get into the studio and record and put it out. So that's the way, I don't sit at home every day and go, I need to write a song today.
So it's not like 9 a.m. time to write a song? Yeah.
I mean, it's not to say I'm not working hard.
Yeah, no, of course.
I am always playing guitar and trying to come up with new ideas.
Yeah.
But I've learned that if I try to force creativity, it never goes well.
Yeah.
Ever. And even if I get something done, I'll wake up the next day and I probably won't like what I came up with.
You'll think it's shit or something.
Right.
Yeah. So the first single off the record, Thirst, was actually written for Kimbra. Is that right? Yeah,
I had been approached from somebody saying, I talked to her about it actually, and she'd never even heard the song.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
she had no idea what you were talking about.
So that just gives you a little bit of insight of how major labels work. They're like, people are going around asking these people.
Whispering things.
So, I mean, it worked out in my favor, that she never even heard the song in the first place, because I actually really liked the song, and I was able to turn it into a pretty rad version, I think, and it became the first single, and then it's actually one of my favorite songs to sing live, and when with the band, it's got a wicked groove and people dance to it, and so I'm happy. It's sort of like a happy accident. Yeah,
because it still feels very much like a City in Colour song. It doesn't sound like it was intended for someone else.
Right. I don't think I could write a song that doesn't sound like me.
No.
I mean, maybe I could if I sat with somebody else and we tried to say, let's make this kind of song.
Let's make a new Little John song.
Right. So, yeah, I think it's a good one. I like it.
So on the record, you did work with some really amazing people like Jack Lawrence and, some amazing musicians. Was it different working with session musicians?
It was. It was the first time I'd ever done anything like that. So I was a little bit nervous going into it. When I met Jack in the kitchen of the studio, and then he went and started playing bass, you know what I mean? So it was like I had no relationship with them beforehand.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a very I'm very close. I have a very close-knit group of people that I work with. with everything. So it was a little bit daunting at first, but then when I met Jack and met Matt and James and Bo and all the people who played on the record, they were just all such great people aside from being wonderful musicians.
Yeah, so you got along.
It just, you know, it made the process so much more comfortable.
That's great. So you are one of the few musicians who I feel like makes a real effort to come to Australia every time you have an album, and we love that here. So why do you love us so much?
I just think that you guys are very nice.
We're a lot like Canadians, aren't we?
You know, well, the thing is, there's a lot of places that you go on tour, and you either feel I feel a sense of discomfort, and not because of the people, or you just sort of feel you don't feel at home, but it is part of the job, right? You have to go all these places
and connect to those people.
Yeah, and the first time I ever came here, I just felt so comfortable, so welcomed, so at home, that it just had a very big impact on me. And then, it doesn't hurt that people have been interested in the songs as well. So
we do love you here.
Well, I love them back, so it works out well.
Great. Well, thanks very much for talking to me. I cannot wait to see the show tonight, and I can't wait to see the big tour as well.
Okay, thank you for coming to both.